Let's talk about the labor of love, shall we? Has gratitude got you down? Are you loathing self-love and respect? Are you hurting from healing? Do words of affirmation keep you from being calm? Well, my friend, if you answer yes to any of these things, you might be subscribing to something that you did not put a subscription in for. What I mean by that is every time we turn on our phones, we go out into the world, we see a magazine cover, we watch a movie, we listen to a podcast. This isn't a podcast, it doesn't count. We always get to a point where we hear or see, feel, absorb something about what we should be doing to make ourselves better, right? I mean, it's just pretty obvious. It's what sells, it's what moves. Our inability to be okay with who we are is really what motivates sales, unfortunately. And I think a lot of times we then hyper focus on the things that we feel or we think are wrong with ourselves and look and grasp for the next thing that could potentially help us on that journey. And so sometimes that can be really overwhelming and it can also be really draining, and which is counterintuitive, right? It should be helpful. It should be getting us on the right path to discovering great things about us. But in the end, it's really like, no, the world capitalizes on our pain. Sorry, I didn't create it. It just exists. The more aware we are of those things, the easier it can become to detach from them. Now, I'm not going to say this is like a thing that you just snip, 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 and it's gone. No, obviously it's not. It's always surrounding us because as humans, we all have insecurities about something about ourselves. I don't believe that anyone is completely confident with themselves in any way, shape, or form. I just don't believe it. But with that said, is there's a lot of things that we go through or experience in life that don't have a quick fix. It's something that we need to move through, that we need to find space to heal in. And so, we pick up a magazine and it's like, 90 days from heartbreak, heal yourself now with all these techniques and buy this and do that. And, even, coming from a former life of being a yoga practitioner and instructor for 13 years is, that was one thing. You got to learn. People come to you for a reason because they're told why you're there. And for me, it was always about the experience. It was, I'm not here to heal you. I'm not here to teach you. I'm here to provide support and space for you to find what you need. And I think that's what we're kind of missing in the world when we look at all these different self-help things and how to progress. There's a lot that is intended to help, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, not everything works for everyone, and you have to find your path with it. So, how do we do that? How do we find our path and what's right for us? I guess you first have to identify what it is that you're going through. Is it a journey of self-expression? Is it something where you feel like you need to go through a physical metamorphosis? Is it you feeling a disconnect from humans and spirituality in the world around you, and really kind of start to look not at what the problem is or the perceived problem, but where did that stem from? Where did that root from? So I think the more that we dive deeper into figuring out what our trigger is, we can understand what the response is. For example, if you are really self-aware about where you're at physically. Maybe you want to be more muscular. Maybe you want to slim down. Maybe you would like to lose some weight. Maybe you'd like to gain some weight. Why? What is the reason behind that? Once you get to the why behind it, then you can really start to understand what your steps are towards something. It could be the same with feeling a disconnect from the world around you. Maybe you're feeling like you can't connect with anyone or that you're unable to express your emotions in the way that you like. What is the root of that? Where did that start from? And that's really how I perceive the journey beginning. What you decide to do from there is really on you. You know, Again, getting back to the physicality, it's probably one of the easiest ways to make an example of it. But getting back to the physicality of it, what do you do that makes you feel good? Is it movement? Is it going out for a walk? Is it going to the gym? And what does that feel like to you? What is the outcome of that? And if you get the outcome of that, does it solve for it or does it just provide a band-aid? And these are things only you can figure out, discover. This is really a journey for yourself. So, what I'd like to say to you today is not to discourage you from seeking out extra support, but really take a look at what it is that you're trying to solve for. What is the root cause of the way that you're feeling? Because I guarantee you, if you try all these different avenues and they never really get to the root of what's going on, you're going to feel exhausted and you're going to feel way worse than you did when you started the journey. So I hope if you're feeling a little bit of fatigue from, being on some epic journey of solving everything and anything in your life, that this provides a little bit of like, hey, you're not alone, you're okay, and just take one step at a time. It's better to really just take things slow, start to dissect, figure it out, and then map out what your journey is ahead. And that's all for today. Best of luck and travel safely and wisely.